we were the ones who said, we're going to make this big move. And then before I knew it, you were already in Florida before us.
Yeah. So when did you sell your house again?
We sold it. We sold the house in October 2020.
But then you moved into a condo or
we moved in a condo.
Yeah. So we left Ohio October 16th. We landed on the beach down here. Like we drove directly to the beach, had to get our piggies in the water first thing, arrived on October 17th. And then, not to remember what happened, but Michaela and Joe hopped on a plane on October 19th to go to Memphis to do the drive all over again. Now, I will have to tell you, even though it sounds like that was a lot, it was a very special father-daughter trip. I really think they enjoyed going there. She did have friends help pack them up and everything. They went through the Smokies, had a little bit of really good moonshine at a few locations. I think they had a really good time. And then they drove down to Port Charlotte, and our first week together was October 27th, the week of Halloween for us. And if anybody back home who might be watching this, they know that Halloween time at the Schaefer house was always a big deal.
Right.
And so it was really hard, like not to have a house decorate, not having the kids come up. So that was really weird. We actually went out for Halloween, found one of the places. It was right, I can't remember the name of it. I have a picture of it. You've been to it too, right on the water. It was nice. We dressed up a little bit just to feel like that we were in the spirit. And then the next week we went grocery shopping and get ready for like our life in Florida. And when we went into the grocery store, the hallelujah moment found, I don't know if you have seen this yet, but there is a little machine that you can put your pineapple in, and it actually slices the pineapple.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. It was like amazing.
Rob is addicted to that machine. We go to a place called Detweiler's Farmers Market in Venice, and that's the first thing he does is cut his pineapple.
Yeah. So that was like, wow, we don't have these in Ohio. So that was kind of cool.
That was your welcome to Florida moment.
Yeah, that was a.
Don't mind me. I'm plugging in as we chat. See, this is all real life stuff, guys.
No worries. So then in November, when October when he left, I did quit my COO of the Ohio Grocers job, and I was looking for another job. And so it was the first part of November when I did secure my new job at what I'm still at, Associations International, and working for a couple of an alliance and a couple of associations. So anybody out there who is looking to relocate and do something, that was scary just to say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to quit. We're going to do it. Joe had a job and we were good, but it's still it's a little nerve wracking. So I can share some of those experiences with you. But then we had Thanksgiving in an apartment again. Joe and I have been married for 29 years and we had never been in an apartment. We got married, we went directly into a house. So this is our first time in an apartment experience. Not quite the decorating, if anybody knows my house at Christmas or whatever, it's isn't quite the same. I did sell a lot of holiday stuff before we moved.
I don't know if we believe you, Shane, after our moving episode last time, if you actually did sell as much as you think you did.
Well, I am working on cleaning out the storage area, so I'll let you know. But I did keep one tree wrapped in saran wrap with the ornaments and everything. If anybody knows, that's typically what I do. You'll see pictures. I cut the saran wrap off, and off the tree it is. And
that's smart.
Yeah, you haven't seen that? I'll share that picture with you.
I think you told me about it, but I don't know that I've seen the magic of that saran wrap.
Oh yeah. So we'll have to share that a little bit. So then let's see here. We did make it, normally Thanksgiving weekend is the Ohio State, Michigan. We do have some cousins that were down here. So they shared, Twisted Fork, where's the party? And me and Obi ended up on the front page of the news already.
Oh my gosh, we're here. I remember that.
Yeah. me and Obi bringing him to the tailgate and everything. So we had a good time there. We did go up to, we found the factory outlets for some Black Friday shopping. Again, a little weird. You know, you're used to having your coats and everything on, and here we are. It was nice, but weird. But don't forget. Okay, so that is end of November. We still have a storage unit that we have to go. So it
That's
was
right.
the beginning of December, December 3rd. We flew up. We got another rental truck, another U-Haul,
We
gathered
have
our belongings.
wonderful pictures in our last
Yeah.
video of that move.
And we headed back south. And
Right.
again, I forgot to mention in that video, what we did do too is we carried 2 other pods to Tampa.
Ooh, talk
And
about that. Yeah.
yeah. So when they found out that we were coming to Florida, Florida obviously was a hot spot. They said, "Hey, we have some 2 pods that need to go to Tampa. Would you want to take those to Tampa, and we'll give you a credit on your U-Haul to go?" And we're like, I think it was close to $800 to
Well, that's
$1,000 credit.
significant.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. So we did that. We stopped off in Tampa. We dropped off the pods, and then we arrive December 5th. We load everything up into the other storage unit. And December 6th was a day at the pool. December 6th.
Gotta
I was
love
sitting at
that.
the pool. So I found a quote, and I think I don't know, I was trying to, I'm in Florida and everything's great, but I don't have a house. I'm in an apartment. And I found this little quote that says, "Even miracles take a little time."
Wait, you said you found that quote where?
It was a Disney quote, I do believe. And it says, "Even miracles take a little time." So sometimes, you know, you're in your happy place or whatever. It's not exactly what you may have anticipated, but you need to be patient. And especially Joe, like, we want to be in the house. He wants to be mowing the grass. He wants to be doing things. So even miracles take a little time. So, but speaking of that, Michaela had applied for the job at the Brevard Zoo, and we found out on December 8th that
That's my birthday.
We found out on December 8th that Michaela was going to be an African zookeeper at the Brevard Zoo. And so we went to one of our favorite places now, Carmel's, and celebrated her new job. And we always went to Disney for Christmas. And so here we are. It's time for the annual Christmas trip. And we're actually in Florida. So that, again, another very weird moment. And Michaela's girlfriend typically goes with us. So she was our first visitor down, Miss Emma. She came down, and then we had to drive to Disney. The girls barely had enough room in the back seat. I'm like, how did we fly here? How do we fly?
Isn't that amazing when you start driving and all the stuff? Because I think what happens is you just have the liberty to take whatever you want.
Yeah. I took a Christmas tree. I took, you know, yeah. So that way we went to Disney and Universal for the first time living in Florida. So then we come back and we have Christmas Eve at the beach. We took Obi to the Venice Dog Beach for Christmas Eve. And then, you know, we get up Christmas morning, we do our thing here, and then we headed to the beach on Christmas Day. Like, that's the first time ever I have been to the beach on Christmas Day. So, but never fear. Guess what? There is another move here, because now on December 31st,
right,
New Year's Eve, we packed up Michaela again, and we're moving her to Melbourne, to the other coast. So we pack up the car. We go over there. We get her again all day. So we drove over, we unloaded, we get her all room. Her room's completely ready and set up. She's renting a house with some other girls. And then we're like, you hang out with the girls. We went back to the hotel with Obi, and we were just exhausted, you know, driving, unpacking, getting things ready. We get up on the 1st, we have lunch, we say our goodbyes, and she'll never forget the day she started her job, because it was her birthday, January 10th.
Oh,
yeah. So, but, you know, as you will know, now you had to fly down, because now we're back home. And then a couple of days later, we're going back to Disney
right.
because it's the Run Disney race.
Marathon weekend.
Yeah. So that you guys flew down for that, right?
We flew down. We knew we were moving to Florida
Yeah.
by that time, but we weren't moving till March. So we had to fly down for a marathon weekend early January and shared a house with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we're here for marathon weekend. Michaela does hop back over again so we can celebrate her 23rd birthday at Disney
that in
again.
the house.
Here we are,
yes.
back in Disney again. I like, how many times is this within less than 6 months of us being?
I know. I have a few of those moments as well. There are too many to count.
And then the January 21st, we finished the pool design. So therefore, we needed that money so we could figure out what that would be, because then we closed on the loan for the new house on January 31st.
Oh, okay.
So that was another big moment. And we closed that just in time before all the chaos happened with all the interest rates going up and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that was good timing.
But never fear, it was time to celebrate again, because we went back to Universal and Disney again for Mardi Gras in February.
Oh, okay. I forgot you guys did the Mardi Gras.
Yeah. So we went back. Michaela met us again, up there. So here we are. Gosh, I cannot even count. It's been like less than 6 months, and I can't even count how many times we've been back up there. But yeah, so then we go back up to Mardi Gras, and then Boca Grande, we found, as you well know, is our favorite beach. We went out there for Valentine's Day. And then let's see here, March, we headed over to the coast to see Michaela. Now, St. Patrick's Day, were you here by St. Patrick's Day then?
Girl, St. Patrick's Day is on my list of first months here. I will be talking about that unless you want to talk about it now.
Well, here I'm gonna my stopping point, because after St. Patrick's Day, that felt a little weird too, being in Florida, but you can chime in on that. But this is where I'm going to stop, because this needs to be a whole nother episode. So my aunt had her birthday, and my cousin bought her cruise, and I'm already in Florida. My cousin's like, you should just go. You never know when this is going to happen again. So I booked the cruise, and I said, hey, Michelle, you want to go cruise? Hey,
and how long did I hestate to say yes?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out how long you were here before we went on the cruise.
Yes. Yeah.
You had just got off the plane, I think, and you were just like, took your suitcase and off we go to the cruise.
I don't even think I unpacked from the move. I'm going on a cruise with you.
Yeah. So, but that needs a whole take 10. Our first cruise.
I loved it. Yeah. I think that's a great idea to talk about cruising in general. We could kick off a cruise episode with your aunts.
Yes.
Cruise. That was a lot of fun, and a lot of great tips and things to share with people.
So that is my October to March.
Woo! Whirlwind, girl.
Yeah. So when did you say land ho? When did you make it?
Well, your 6 months ending starts my journey of arrival, and we arrived smack dab on March 1st.
March 1st. Okay.
So we arrived into the Venice area, pulled into our new home. Now, our new home is not our home, but it is the home that we signed a lease while we figured out what to do. The mover showed up on March 1st, got all settled in as much as you can, right? When you first get down here and get ready. So March 1st. One of my best memories, though, Shane, was, I think it was a couple of days later, you and Joe met us, and I think we went to Minnesota Beach or Englewood Beach. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to look back. And we have we'll put the photo in here, celebratory sunset on the beach photo. We had both made it.
We made it.
After all of those months of planning and discussing it, we both were officially in Florida. So that was a great memory. As that month goes on, the reason that I said St. Patrick's Day, if people who know me, who are subscribing to this channel, know that is my national holiday. It has been that way since I was a little girl. Irish dance. My grandparents were from Ireland, signed me up for Irish dance. My grandfather was one of the founding people in the Shamrock Club of Columbus. We took off school St. Patrick's Day. It was parties, my family. It was the holiday. Our daughter Irish danced as did your daughter, which we found out after we met each other in the same dance school. And I was in Florida for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to spoil alert 2022 St. Patrick's Day and 2023. I will never spend it again in Florida for St. Patrick's Day. So Columbus, Ohio has it going on for St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what I expected. We did Punta Gorda 2 years in a row at the place called Celtic Grace. God love them. They tried. And I guess for everybody else, they wouldn't know any different. But for those of us who grew up in Columbus and the Irish community, I missed it. I really missed it. And I told myself 2023 was the last year that I would be in Florida for St. Patrick's Day, unless you and I can find another spot somewhere that has the true traditional. We didn't even see any Irish dancers at Celtic Grace. Come on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no Irish dancers. So that's St. Patrick's Day. Finishing up March for us, and again, cruise aside, the other thing we discovered in March is the fact that spring baseball for the Major League Baseball happens down here in this area. And I know you have a team close to you.
Yeah.
We have a baseball stadium called Cool Today close to us. It's the Atlanta Braves spring training. So we went to our first ever spring training game only a couple of weeks into our living here. So that was really cool. And I recommend to anybody who is in an area, you can get really reasonable tickets. It's a fun afternoon or evening out. And just, anyway, I'm not a big baseball. We do like sports baseball fan, but that was just a fun environment. So that was great. Fast forward, okay, next month, April, and you will see a theme here. We do cross over special events, Shane. We started off April with the next Run Disney event.
Yeah.
So March was the marathon weekend, and we will, everyone who's watching, we will do an entire episode or two on Run Disney races. You know, what they are, how you sign up for them, how you train, what a race weekend is like, tips and tricks. Shane and I both discussed before about our running journey, so we'll talk about that.
January is the marathon, and then spring is typically, it used to be the Star Wars, but now it's a springtime surprise.
Now it's springtime surprise. And 2022, it was a Tower of Terror 10 miler is what we all did. So the four of us, I think we shared a house again for that one.
I think we did.
I saw a picture when we got up that morning. So that was definitely a highlight. The other highlight in April was having our first visitors. And so friends of ours from the Boston area who we met through the Disney community, which Shane, you know, Cheryl and Kevin, came down for a little extended weekend after a Disney trip. So we were able to rent a boat, and we did not this time rent it where we drove it. We rented it through a charter company that provided, and we had used this before, this particular group called, we'll put a link in the show notes, called Aquaholic Charters. And you can go 2 hours for all day. I think we just did a couple of hours just to go out on the intercoastal, see the dolphins and the manatees, and have a nice morning. So that's what we did. So I highly recommend boat rentals. If you don't own a boat, there are plenty of places you can rent a boat. So that was great to be out in the water in April. May comes around, of course, back to Disney, right? So we are right back in Flower and Garden Festival. Took the in-laws to that. Again, wonderful event for anybody who wants to you're not maybe into the ride so much, but you're more into experiences. Epcot's festivals are a great way to experience Disney without having to worry about getting in a lot of lines for rides. So they do. Yes. The Flower and Garden was lovely. All the topiaries, very pretty. Hopefully I'll have some good pictures I can put in. We stayed at the Boardwalk Resort on Friends, donated some points to us overnight. They couldn't use them. They gave them to us. And my father-in-law's wish list was always to stay at the Boardwalk. So we stayed there, which was nice. And another bonus of that stay was celebrating your birthday at our Boardwalk Resort.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a nice
The Boardwalk's a great location to walk right
Ye-
from Epcot over to.
It is, you know what, the
Yeah.
boardwalk is such a great location. So all of those little Epcot area resorts are wonderful.
Yeah, that was birthday number 54.
That was 54. That's right.
Yeah.
That was before the double nickel. So we got to celebrate that together. Rented another boat. So again, if anyone goes to Disney, we'll probably have an episode on things outside of the park that you can do. We rented a boat on a pontoon on Crescent Lake on our non-park day and just, went around the resorts on the lake, drove over to Hollywood Studios and back. You can also do it at the Magic Kingdom one is better because you can go out on Bay Lake, Seven Seas Lagoon, but we had never done the one at the Epcot Area Resort, so we were able to get that. And if you have a cast member in your family, it's 50% off, so that was a great deal. And
I haven't been to any boating at the parks yet, so I'll have to get to do that.
That's a fun one. We'll have to do that. It's also the month that Rob got an annual pass to Disney.
Oh,
I had purchased one when we did the Springtime Surprise. Rob got one in May. And that was our start of trying to go and just take a Friday off, go do Epcot, either come back same day in the evening or spend the night. I think we've shared with our viewers that my son is a cast member at Disney. So during those first few months, he didn't even know when we were coming up. We would surprise him. He was working the riverboat for the first time. And Rob and I got to be up in the captain's quarter and do the steam whistle and ring the bell and all of that. So I think we have some good things there. And one other thing that I want to talk about for something else to do is we went to the Siesta Key Rum Distillery at the end of the month.
I saw that.
That is such a fun thing. Our daughter came in for a long weekend around, I think it was a year ago, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And we were looking for fun things. And she knows her grandpa loves the Siesta Key rum. And they had a little day tour. It wasn't super big, but you could go around, see how they made it. But the best part was you could sample everything. And they were generous pours. So that's always fun things to do, right? Look for little things like that. We get to June. Now, it's funny. I was hardly here. I'm not in here right now. I'm in Ohio. Act like I'm in Florida. I was hardly in Florida the month of June. But my Florida tip for that month is I became best friends with the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. So got very used to that. Remember, coming from Columbus, Ohio, easy airport, not difficult like some big cities. So Sarasota Bradenton was my airport of choice just based on proximity.
Yeah.
And was able to fly lots of places in and out of there. Not the easiest to get to because it's not
75. Not from 75.
Not from 75.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, it can be complicated based on traffic. But it is probably the most convenient for me. So I spent a lot of time. I got to go to Europe. But you know what? I didn't fly out of Sarasota. I flew out of Orlando because I took my mother-in-law and her sister back up to do more of the flower and garden because she wanted to take her sister.
Yeah.
And that's when we got them on the Guardians of the Galaxy. And they have never forgiven me. And it's been almost a year. So that was June, and a highlight moment also from June at Disney was getting to Be Our Guest restaurant for the first time for dinner and seeing the Beast. I took Jack and his girlfriend to Be Our Guest, and we had a lovely evening there.
Yeah,
July
lunches there.
What's that?
I missed the lunches at the.
You know what? That lunch, the lunch was great. It was a little like fast casual lunch. Yeah. It wasn't.
We loved their sandwiches.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I haven't tried the dinner yet.
Well, here's the thing. Beautiful environment. Love seeing the Beast. One and done for me.
Yeah.
It was expensive.
Yeah. They need to change that one up.
And it wasn't like you got a meet and greet with the Beast. It was just he would come through and you would take pictures and the food was okay, but you're paying for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that was, and again, we will have episodes on great restaurant. We'll have a lot of Disney episodes at some point. So we won't get into all of that. July though was everybody came to visit, and anyone who moves into an area, that people like for vacation, you start to get people to come down.
Yeah.
So we had 3 straight weeks of people coming down, staying in the spare bedroom, and we had no red tide. The summer water was glorious on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good summer last year.
Oh, it was such a good summer. I know my sister, who's getting ready to vacation next week to the Outer Banks, was comparing how cold the water is when they go on the East Coast to the Outer Banks in June to being on the Gulf Coast in Florida in July. And the temperature was fantastic. So we are hoping and praying that this summer that the red tide stays away. We did have a little bit. We started out the year, post-hurricane with a little bit of red tide. Yeah, but beaches, favorite restaurants. July was just a, entertain, be able to now claim it as your own home, which was fun to be able to take people to places.
We haven't had to worry about that. We're in a 2-bedroom apartment. Unless you're really close to me, I'm not going to say, hey, do you want to sleep on my pull-out couch?
Yes,
I do have a few friends that have taken us up. But
once you get your house, once you get your house, I'm sure it'll be entertainment central. So that was a lot of fun, right? So we did 4th of July stuff. We just did a lot of summer Florida things. And you guys, the heat, it was fine. Everybody talks about how hot it is. It was absolutely fine. We did, my mother-in-law turned 80 at the end of July. So there was all of that entertaining to do, not only planning, but then, be the extension house. Of course, both my kids took up the rest of the house. So we were pretty maxed out for people for that whole month, but loved every minute. It was a lot of fun. So then we get to the end of my 6 months, which would take us up to August. And August was, it was interesting as I reflected back on August, it was just a smorgasbord of things, right? It was just one of those, we went up and experienced Ybor City, and that's YBOR. If anyone has heard of, very old city on the outskirts of Tampa. In Shane, it has one of our favorite restaurants. It's the original spot of the Columbia. I will put pictures in. It is the most gorgeous, historic, grand, luxurious. I don't know what other adjectives. All the famous people who have eaten dinner at the Ybor City, Columbia was in there. The history behind it, the decor, the ornateness. It was just so fascinating. And it's absolutely worth another trip. So we did the original Columbia at Ybor City. We went up to Epcot. We are yacht rock people. So we went to go see Christopher Cross at the Eat to the Beat concert. So for everyone who I was teasing out festivals, every festival usually has a calendar of musical talent that comes. Some are names, big names that others not so much, but we really like Christopher Cross. So Rob and I
like him too.
It was a Sunday and we just drove up on a Sunday afternoon, went to the concert and drove home. Just up and back, didn't need to do a hotel, didn't do anything overnight.
It's really 2.5 hours, 2.5, give or take, depending on
depending on the traffic. We're a little closer than you, but that doesn't mean that we do it in any less time because of traffic.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
And I ended August. Katie she had turned 30. And so, but we went to New York City, but that's not really Florida. But yeah, I was looking through.
That's beyond.
But that's beyond. That's our beyond. And we can talk about New York City all day long. It was a very epic trip. And speaking of epic, we did end the month though with our epic shopping trip. You and I.
Oh, yes.
The 30th and 31st of August to be exact.
Is that when we did it? Oh my
Yes. Because remember, it ended the 31st of August.
Oh, and, yes, that's right.
And to our luck, it was a Tuesday and a Wednesday, which, by the way, my son, who's a cast member, had an incredible deal, and it was expiring on the 31st, and he didn't work the last 2 days of the sale. So, Shane, I have a few pictures I will be inserting in of the purchases. No judgment to any of our viewers, please. This was Christmas shopping. This was birthday shopping.
Yeah.
This was some personal treats for us as well.
It was a
So
blast.
we had such a good time. We're not sure if Jack would say the same thing.
No, poor Jack.
Poor Jack, but we ran him ragged, but he thought it was a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was exhausted. And that ends the first 6 months of Florida for us.
It's been a whirlwind. Like, it's been a whirlwind. When I looked back at what we have done in the first 6 months, it's just, and I think we're like going into 30 minutes, and we want to take these pretty quick, but it's a lot going on.
There's just going to be some episodes that are going to be this way. I think that, yes. So hopefully we shared some things that you guys, might be interested in knowing about. Detailed show notes, any places we mentioned, we'll certainly put the links down below. And we thank goodness we decided to break it into, and we didn't do a full year.
No, we got another 6 months to talk about.
We've got another 6 months to talk about, and it'll probably take us just as long, but hopefully everyone is following along and enjoying it as much as we enjoy talking about it.
Absolutely. The craziness has to be shared. I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. That's what we're here for, right? So please comment below anything else that, you want us to talk about that maybe we just teased it a little bit. You want to know more, we'll definitely comment back. We want to keep a two-way conversation going on this channel.
Absolutely. Let us know what you want us to talk about, because we have no problem talking.
No, we do not.
All right. Well, how about we make all of your moments magical
in Florida and beyond.
Until the next Take 10.
So long, everybody. See you next time.